Hey everybody, so today we're looking at Sun and Moon booster boxes because, surprise, surprise, they are on the move again. Now, just a few disclaimers. Obviously, some of these don't sell a lot on TCG Player, so you know it's better to look at eBay to get up-to-date data, but we're going to see a general trend with TCG Player. And yeah, that's basically actually the only disclaimer that I really want to get into that I can remember. So, Sun and Moon base to start. Again, this thing got pumped with all the other sets. It was around 260. Now it's up to 275. Most recent sale, $300, right? So that's going to be a trend. We're going to see most recent sales are going to be above what TCG Player is showing us. And that's going to be a fairly good indicator of where boxes are actually going and what the market value is. Guardians Rising up next. As we can see with the 1-year chart, this thing again has moved up to over $400 now. Most recent sales actually under 400, but considering 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 12 months ago, whatever, this thing was around 350. Now it's up to 4. That's a pretty decent move. Burning Shadows up next. This one is actually kind of an outlier. It was up to $430. Now we're down to around $415. And you can see most recent sales $417-ish. So this one's a bit of an outlier in that case. But again, check eBay for everything. Crimson Invasion, even the worst set in history. This thing has continued to move up over the past 6 months when a lot of sets were stagnant, and most recent sales again 215 range, so much higher than 6 months ago when it was around $200. Ultra Prism up next. This thing again took a very large move. It's been flat for the past 6 months or so. Again, this is kind of an outlier, but if you look at eBay, the prices may be a bit different. Again, listed median value on TCG Players 800. eBay, some of these sets are selling a bit higher than TCG Player, so just keep that in mind. Forbidden Light is up next, and we can see that this one, if the chart loads here, has been slowly moving up again over the past 6 months or so. It was flat for most of the year, but again, right now, the past couple months, it is making a move. Most recent sale in April, $465. We had a $475 one back in February. So again, check eBay. The prices aren't as consistent for these older sets on TCG Player, but if you look, a lot of these sets are selling above these TCG numbers on eBay. But again, another set that is slowly moving up. Celestial Storm as well. Once this graph loads, I don't know why it's doing that today, but again, making moves over the past year, huge. And then over the past few months, huge moves as well. Was going from about 660 up to over 700. Most recent sale, end of April, $850. Absolutely insane. Lost Thunder is going to be the next set and probably the last one that people really don't care too much about. This thing, over the past few months has slowly moved up. Current market value 621. It's selling around that. Again, check eBay. This, again, it's not one of the biggest sets. And we'll get to the point in the video later here once we look at these final 4 sets. But again, Lost Thunder slowly inching up. Team Up, this was definitely the big one. As you can see over the past couple months here, this thing's moved from about $2,000 up to around $23,000, selling for closer to $2,400 in March. And if you look on eBay, I think that's like pretty consistent as well. So this is actually one of the reasons why I don't think Evolving Skies is going to get to $1,000 this year. As you can see, Team Up hit $2,000 in November. So what? That's like 8 months-ish, 7-8 months. Quick math, Grayson, really bad. But it was flat for 4-5 months essentially before it actually did anything again. I think we're going to see a fairly similar thing with Evolving Skies, where it's going to sit around $700 for 4 to 5 months. Then we might see an increase, right? And this is about a 20% increase from $200 to $2,400, right? So 20% on 700 is $140. So maybe we'll see it close to $850, $900 if we're lucky, maybe by the end of the year. But I don't think it's going to break that $1,000 mark, especially if we're learning from a set like Team Up what we can expect in the future. Again, they're not the same set. Evolving Skies is probably better when it comes to actual card value and what cards are in it. Team Up was much more short printed. That's why I got a massive boost compared to other sets. But again, I'm just trying to get a better psychology of what the market is trying to tell us, right? So Team Up, that's one to keep our eyes on. Unbroken Bonds up next. Let's see what's going on here. Again, this one's been slowly moving up as well. Recent sales 650, 620. TCG Player around 625. I think eBay has this a bit higher. I can't remember exactly for most of these. Unified Minds, this one actually has been fairly flat over the past 6 months when you look at the TCG Player graph. But the most recent sales, March 2022, $750 almost. The same day, $730. And then April 30th, 745 on TCG Player. So I'm pretty sure this is one of the sets as well. On eBay, they're selling much higher than the 660 mark. So you'd look at this graph and think it was flat, but in reality, it's slowly starting to move up into the 700s. Cosmic Eclipse, again, this one has been slowly moving up on TCG Player, but if you actually look on eBay, this box, the lowest listed, I think right now is like 930, and that's before shipping and taxes. So someone's probably paying close to $1,000, if not more, for a Cosmic Eclipse booster box if they want to buy it now. Most recent sales 945, sounds about right at the start of May, and then 895.50 today rather. So around $900, 930. It makes sense that it's, it's starting to push that 900 now, whereas after the original pump it was around 850. So we've seen about a 10% gain, 8 to 10%, something like that gain on a fair amount of these boxes like Cosmic Eclipse, Unified Minds as well, even though it's not showing it on this graph. Burning Shadows, if this graph will load again, like some of these, or not Burning Shadows, Guardians Rising and Crimson Invasion, like some of these the worst sets, subjectively speaking, some of the worst sets in Sun and Moon we've seen, 10-15% increases over the past couple months. It seems like people are going back and buying these up now. Maybe the supply is just being bought out, who knows. But yeah, the point of this video is when we're looking at a lot of these Sword and Shield sets right now, like Chilling Reign, like Fusion Strike, like Astral Radiance, Brilliant Stars, Lost Origin, eventually Silver Tempest, and even Battle Styles, and maybe some sets like Vivid Voltage as well, or base set, whatever. We've seen a lot of them pump over the past few months. That's going to continue for a couple of the sets like Silver Tempest and Battle Styles once they sell out, in my opinion. But I think a lot of these sets like Lost Origin, Fusion Strike, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, obviously, I think a lot of these sets are going to sit flat for a few months, and I think that's okay. I think that's going to be a normal thing, right? Like it'd actually be worrying to me, just from a market perspective, if these things continued up to like 300, 350, $400. And who knows, like maybe that's going to happen. Maybe there is that much strength in the market. I personally don't see it. And I think a lot of them are going to follow like a team up where, we get this massive pump. They basically doubled in a 6-7 month period, go flat for a few months, and then we'll start seeing gains again as supply continues to dwindle and as people want to buy these boxes for their collection. They're harder to find, etc., etc. But yeah, I think just for the sake of a lot of investors buying up product, I think we're reaching a point with a lot of these sets where we are going to see a stagnation for a few months, as we have seen with a lot of the Sun and Moon sets. So that's basically the video. Don't be too worried if that happens with Sword and Shield. Or if you're looking to buy Sun and Moon, maybe this is a good time. Or if you got in a couple months ago, like, hey, good job. Again, some of these sets like Burning Shadows are actually down from what they were, 6-8 months ago. Maybe this is a good pickup point if you want to get into a few of these sets. I'm not saying you should or anything, but that's basically the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing, leaving comments. Sub for Kadabra, maybe not. 5K, he evolves. And thank you guys for, using affiliate links, leaving comments, all of that jazz. Really appreciate it. With that said, stay safe wherever you guys are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.